Hello everyone! Today we're going to be working on our Wayne Thiebaud inspired dessert drawings. I've started my drawing here and I've lightly colored in my areas using oil pastels. I wanted to show you how we can take this drawing up a notch by doing a few tricks with our colors to make it really stand out and look three-dimensional. So even though we have drawn our cake three-dimensional, when you begin to color it, it tends to flatten the image out and everything sort of looks like it's on the same plane. And so we want to enhance that by using highlights and shadows. And in order to do that, you're gonna pick where your light source is coming from. So if I'm imagining maybe that there's a light source up in this corner and it's shining down onto my cake kind of sideways, this side of my cake is gonna be lighter, this side of the cake is going to be darker. And so with the oil pastels, it's really nice because we can blend and we can kind of use these colors in a nice way. So I'm going to take my white and pink, and when you push harder and you put colors next to each other, you can really kind of start to get that highlight there. So this could be where the cake is hit, and I'm going to add a little more regular pink here. And then I'm already working on black paper, so I already have that black showing through, but if I want to bump it up even more, I could take my black oil pastel and just kind of add a little bit more and blend it in with pink. Okay, you could use your finger, you could use a paper towel if you want to really try to spread that out a little bit, or you could just use your oil pastel as the blending. And for the top of the cake, maybe this section is going to be lighter. And I'll really highlight that edge there of the top of the oval. And then this will be kind of like our medium value. And then it will get darker as it goes. I might even add the white just a little further down to highlight that edge. Okay, so already my top shape is really starting to stand out. Let's talk about the bottom shape. And you can see I have a cut of my cake piece out, and let's talk about that first. So if the light is hitting this part of the cake is actually going to be a little more shadowed, and this part's going to be a little lighter. So I'm going to add more white to the cake, and you can see I have my like a vanilla cake here, and then I have my chocolate icing layers. So I'm just going to add a little bit more white, kind of bump up the intensity. Even put some in my frosting. And then this side, maybe especially towards that bend here, that crack, I'm going to add a little more shadow. I know some art teachers cringe when you blend with your fingers, but I think for elementary it's okay. Let's talk then about the purple cake. It's very similar. I'll just do a little bit real quick here, but I can kind of show you how it looks when you're using a different color. But I can add the lighter values and then go to the medium and then the darks. So you are kind of using more pressure here, pushing firmer and getting a really nice, beautiful, rich color. All right, you would continue that over to the other side. And then any decorations, you know, keep that in mind. Like if I have some rows of frosting on the bottom or on the top or any decorations, keep in mind which way that the light is hitting your objects. Now for my cake display stand here at the bottom, if I wanted to make this really shine, I would push a little harder. So I have these kind of beaded bottoms to them. And so if I really want those little beads to just stand out, maybe I will kind of push harder with my white so it looks less gray and more shiny white. And I would do them all on the same side. It's like a backwards C. And maybe this side of the cake stand would get more light, this side would get more light. And you guys kind of get the idea. There's going to be a pattern to it. Whatever side is the lighter side would carry out through everything in your picture. Okay? And this part would get a little more light too. All right, so Hopefully those tips help you. Enjoy working on your cake art. I hope you find it soothing and exciting. One more thing we want to look at for our cake designs is a cast shadow. So we worked on our highlights and our shadows on our objects, but those objects are blocking the light from casting a shadow. And so we need to show that shadow. And so the top of this pink cake is going to cast a shadow onto the purple cake. So I'm just going to lightly color one in. This purple cake is going to cast a shadow onto its cake stand. So I'm lightly coloring that in. And even this might, you know, where the cut is, that might cast a shadow. I'm not really sure. And then the cake stand and the rest of this cake is obviously going to cast a shadow onto whatever the table surface is. And I haven't finished coloring my drawing, so I'm just going to kind of lightly put in a shadow below. Okay. I don't want to go too high with it because that kind of changes the rotation of where the light is coming from. But that is cast shadow. So make sure as you are coloring, you're including highlight, that middle value, the shadow on your object, and the cast shadow. Good luck.